Welcome to another edition of Cat and Rooster. First things first. Upon reflection, I want to do a partial recall of my yesterday's rant. Retroactivity is cool. After 3 cups of coffee, a message from former colleague and a bit of belly button gazing my creator, Dr. Y, had to admit. He was a bit harsh yesterday. We always hope things are going to change for the better. We did not have a change of government. But there is hope. What is missing is strategy. You can think big or start small. How about doing something for people who re-elected you? A lot of them were your seniors. Yes, older than 60. As in Canadian senior citizens, 65 and over. Citizens have duties. You've got to speak your critical mind. Speaking freely is also critical, which is why today, and every day, we staunchly refuse to mind our own business. So we slept on election results. Catch KYC Retirement Intelligence Agency did more research, and we have a proposal. A U-turn on old age security recovery. Sounds contrarian or controversial. So what? Investing, like a lot of things, is counterintuitive. Just ask George Costanza. Rory the rooster, our part-time financial district crier, is big on pecking order. But I am a cat, and we happen to know a few things about catches, pouncing and claws. Taking savings back from seniors is not recovery. It deserves to be called a clawback. That income streams from registered savings is conveniently taxable, and some would say punitive. You've been away from these northern shores for a while. So let me use my data to refresh our collective memory here. Recovery tax was introduced into the Canadian income tax system in 1989. The provision was introduced by Conservatives. It ended the universality of OAS. Now the successful wealthy barbers are all seniors. Congratulations. Why don't you repay part or all of their OAS benefits if their net income exceeded a certain threshold? The initial threshold in 1989 was 53,000 Canadian dollars and change. The amount increased, but it was only partially indexed to inflation. The mechanism basically is a thinly disguised 15% tax on income. The threshold, which in 2025 is over 93,000. And if you earned or had to withdraw about 160,000 a year, all that security is certainly over. Interestingly enough, in 1996, the Liberal government grabbed the baton from Conservatives and tweaked the rules of this first to revenue relay race. Now the money gets paid back beforehand. The recovery formula is based on previous year's income. Talk about taking liberties and fairness, eh? As you know, not too many things irritate polite Canadian people more than sneaky retirement rules and regulations, spreadsheets full of dubious financial fantasies, rude dismissal of facts, and funny fiscal fiction. The only thing to come dangerously close is a room full of retired accountants and actuaries. Let us be honest, who among us hasn't, in a moment of 2020 clarity, called perpetual GDP growth as what it is? Easy to read economic bluff. That does not mean we need to immediately fold our hand and hastily replace maple leaf with hammer and sickle. But if this post-electoral festive manifesto is about anything, it's about money. The bottom line is simple and plain. Without funds, retirement plans will remain exactly that. Plans. So, in the spirit of Canadian unity, from sea to sea to sea, we recall our yesterday's rant. It gets benched and replaced. Here is our respectful retirement reform request. That sounds less radical, more profitable and palatable. You can turn back time and clawback has to go. You don't need to be an inflation expert or have a PhD to figure out that 93,000 today is less than 53 in 1989. And that's the catch, as our own in-house doctor says. The remedy is simple. So let's skip the yada yada and analyzing this and that. You have to be good to deal with economic challenges. And main one is missing economic growth. Why? Well, we could debate all day. That debate would also require full financial frontal and rear view transparency. That is normally reserved for beach holidays, emperors, tides, and overzealous HR managers, and not recommended for rookie politicians. But remember, the only thing more dangerous than radical honesty could be transparent, modest lies. Trust me on this one. No need to verify. I am just a character. Granted, I am powered up by Perplexity AI and a bunch of other useful fintech tools. My mission is clarity for the people by the people. And for better or for worse, I am always up to date, alert, have access to massive amount of real-time data. And I cannot lie. So, We shall keep this debates going, eh? I like to pounce almost as much as Rooster likes to crow and receive tips for coffee. Over to you, Rooster, and I say goodbye. Over and out.
I think Captain Katsky just did it again. Oops, annoying habit of being honest became Cat's second nature. Maybe it's because he has 9 lives. That is a repeat revolving door pattern we call Catch 55. Here's another thing, yet another catch. We do a lot of videos and use a lot of useful tools in order to show you, the saver, how not to be a tool. Sorry, long story short, we like staying independent and free to speak our collective intelligence, artificial or not. Our clues are sometimes humorous and sometimes real. Despite the fact Doctor does debates, diagnostics, and 0 advice, he always rises with the roosters. He needs a sip of coffee every day. Uncle Bob the Apex Ape likes foamy head on his beer, and with his size, he needs a mug. Bull and Bear twins? This volatile and thirsty duo is thirsty for a jug. On Planet Networthy, we don't drive. We use logic and imagination to go from A to B to C to D. It takes a lot of professional tools to power up our imagination. We also love I Am Canadian beer commercial and enjoy playing trivia with friends. We will create more of what you liked and love you more. The game is always afoot, and we have a good idea how to play it right. So book a chat with our Club Pro or go DIY and buy us a coffee, a beer, a mug, or a jug. Click on link D after this video to pay club dues or simply donate a handful of dollars on Ko-Fi. Every sip, mug, or jug fuels our next move and your next laugh. Support retired intelligence. In this game, players can pay forward and expect a payback. The ball is going back and forth, and knowing how to play pays dividends. Just express interest. That's the circle of life. Take it from me, Rory Ostradamus. Let's win by refusing to lose together. Cheers. And there you have another episode of Cat and Rooster, created by Dr. Y and motley team of AI. We shall be back and hope you'll be back too. Because here, in fictional country of Costa de Nada, you can learn lessons, earn experience, and acquire skill set that helps to pay monthly bills. And these do not pay themselves. Follow our channels or support us. With our feathers unruffled and vision sharp, we can focus on providing research and objective opinions. Let us keep your money safe, mind critical, retirement well-funded, and sense of humor intact. I am Rory Ostradamus, and I predict you will be back. Remember, Money Show is live 4 p.m. Toronto time. Show up at market close. That's 4 p.m. Toronto time sharp. Over and out.